Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Travis and this is Bacon and Backpacking. I'm joined today by my lovely girlfriend Sarah, who's finally getting to try out her birthday gift, which is the Outdoor Vital CS40 pack. So we're back in the Mohican State Park in Ohio, which I'm really excited about because this place has been closed for like a year and a half. Anyhow, going to be a fun little overnighter. I think it's only about 10-11 miles of hiking, so half today, half tomorrow. Going to go ahead and camp out tonight, and pretty cool spot. You guys will get to see a couple waterfalls, the Mohican River, and we'll be camping down by a creek, so stay tuned. All right, everybody, so got to see Little Lyons Falls first, Big Lyons Falls second, and then the Mohican River. There's a lot of stuff out here, guys. Kind of where we're at is like a very day hiking area, as I'm sure you guys can kind of see from, the trails are basically like, might as well be asphalt, right? Because of how hard packed they are from all the traffic. So lots of day hikers over here on this side. They have cabins down here, campgrounds. Obviously out on the Mohican River, they have kayaking, canoeing, stuff like that. So pretty popular place, but we're gonna start getting off, the beaten path here pretty soon. Start hitting like the mountain bike trail and like the bridle trails. And then, the traffic really cuts down from there and it gets a little bit more remote out that way. Everybody, I think we got 2 miles left or something. The forecast is pretty interesting. It's a high of 35 today, although I don't think it ever actually reached that. Sun is peeking out a little bit, so maybe we will. But yeah, it's supposed to be a high of 35, low of 30 overnight, so pretty much the same temperature the entire time. It was supposed to snow earlier, like I'm sure you saw, there was a little bit of snow on the ground on the drive here, and then there was, snow on the ground on the trail when we got here. But this wasn't in the forecast, so I like it. Makes for some good footage, makes for a nice day of hiking. So, but now the sun's coming out, so gotta love Ohio. But yeah, there's not supposed to be any appreciable amount of snow. I believe it said 3/4 of an inch for the day. Well, I'll tell you guys what, they said they had the backpacking campsites shut down out here for 1.5 years, and I can tell why. I mean, we saw some evidence of storm damage out here on the hike, but I didn't really record it because it was nothing crazy, and if you didn't know Mohican, you know, you probably wouldn't notice too much. But this kind of shows you some of the stuff they've brought up out of the woods, so I do imagine we'll be seeing some of it here pretty shortly. You know, the path that the tornado took. Sarah, go stand by one of those big ones right there, just say. These are pretty big chunks of tree. So, yeah, and these are about as far as you can see. So we're going to be descending down the hill to the area where campsites 1, 2, and 3 are. I've never stayed at number 1, so that's the one we registered tonight. So see if we can catch any more tornado damage down here. All right, everybody. So just be aware that at Mohican, if you are at campsites 1, 2, or 3, you will be, you know, crossing Pine Run. And you guys can't tell, but right over in there is actually about 1.5 feet deep. There's not really a way to cross it, you know, where the trail crosses Pine Run. Okay, so now it looks like people kind of beat a little bushwhack path up here. There's a spot where it looks like the water was running over some rocks, and I'm pretty sure we'll be able to, you know, cross it there, no problem. We both have quote-unquote waterproof boots on, but they're not waterproof if you know, the water goes above the top of your boots. So we're gonna find a more shallow spot here, and we're gonna go ahead and cross on over. And I've never been out here, so I'm not even really sure, you know, where campsite 1 is, but we're not too far. All right, everybody, we made it. Campsite 1. Nothing too special. You have to pre-register these things, you know, up at the forest office. They basically have a little sheet. It's first come, first serve. There's 10 sites, and you know, you show up and register them. If people already have them, you're, you know, screwed out of luck. But like I said, it's, you know, 35 degrees today, so only 2 other sites were registered besides us. So Sarah's getting ready to post up here, but yeah, the only amenity is they do have like a little fire ring for you there, so you can see some of the evidence of the storm damage there. But we're gonna go ahead and get set up, guys, before we start cooling down here. You know, like I said, it's kind of cold out. All right, everybody, so little mini camp tour. We're not done yet, but again, this is Sarah's maiden voyage with her pack, which is the Outdoor Vitals CS40. She got to use it when we did the Virginia Triple Crown a couple months ago. It's the pack that Celeste and Brian both had. It's a new release from Outdoor Vitals, so she liked it so much that I got her one for her birthday, so she's testing out, you know, hers. This is the 6 Moon Designs Lunar Solo, so that's going to be a shelter for the night. Let's sneak in here real quick. So Sarah runs very hello. Sarah runs very cold. Like I said, it's only about 30 degrees today, but she's rocking, as you can see, 2 different sleeping pads. So up top is the Nemo Tensor. That's a 4R value. I think that's supposed to be good down to about 20 degrees. But Sarah's pretty much always freezing if it's below 45. So we also have a Thermarest foam pad under there, which is going to provide another 2R value for her. And then she's going to have a War Bonnet Diamondback 0 degree top quilt over. Yeah, and like she said, you probably couldn't hear her because the mic's facing me, but it's a overstuffed 0 degree. I maxed that thing out. So, you know, I don't want to be too repetitive, guys. I always go over my gear in every video, but, you know, for anybody who's new, and this is the only video you've ever seen, this is the War Bonnet Blackbird hammock. Really like this thing. It has a bug net, which obviously I don't need in the winter, but it also has like a built-in, you know, gear shelf over here, so I can put stuff in the hammock with me. Top insulation, just like Sarah, is going to be a 20 degree War Bonnet Diamondback quilt. Underneath, I also have a 20 degree Wookiee underquilt from War Bonnet, and I did bring my underquilt protector This is from Dutchware, and you know, that thing weighs maybe an extra 5 ounces. Like I said, it's not going to be super cold tonight, but there is going to be, you know, wind of up to 15 to 20, and just having that underquilt protector, you know, knock down that wind actually helps quite a bit, I've found. So I'm going to go ahead and put my tarp up, and we'll show you guys that. All right, guys, there she is. That is the hammock gear Dyneema tarp with doors up on top of the War Bonnet Blackbird there. So all set up, ready to rock. I think Sarah's got all of her stuff set up. So we're gonna collect some wood here before it gets dark, because obviously it's dark at like 5 p.m. So here's a look at that massive double stuffed, overstuffed quilt I got over there. So, but yeah, we're gonna gather up some wood here, try to get a fire going. Everything's pretty damp, but I think we can get it done. You know, have a little fire so we can at least hang out a couple hours before it gets dark. Stuff to throw, you know, a line to hang our food, and run down to the creek to get some water for the night. But yeah, about ready to rock and roll here. All right, everybody, last couple things. Sarah's already getting getting pretty cold, so we have the Helinox Chair Zeros deployed for maximal comfort, and all this wood was cut by me with the little silky pocket boy saw. Thing's pretty good. We lucked out. Obviously, as you can see, there's some splintered wood right there off of some of these down trees, and that stuff's dry, so shouldn't have any issues getting a fire started here. So that's next up, and then we're gonna eat some food. Also, too, guys, you know, water bottle, shards of glass and beer bottles and stuff like that. You know, if you're gonna come out here, you know, pack out what you pack in. I really wish that they would shut down. These trailheads out here are only about a half mile from these campsites, so people, you know, bring wagons out and beer and coolers, and I've seen people carrying, you know, stacks of firewood down here and stuff. So but it is what it is. If you guys do come out here, please don't be one of these people. And then obviously you can see here that we have our food hang line set up. So I mean, pretty much all it's left to do is hang out by the fire tonight and eat food. All right, it is 5 o'clock, and we have a reliable fire already going, first try. I kind of set it up, you might be able to see in there a little bit, kind of in a log cabin configuration to kind of let some of those big ones start drying out. So that's going to be the challenge, just kind of maintaining this thing is just, you know, constantly rotating in, you know, some bigger logs to let them, you know, dry out before it's their turn. Worst case scenario, I do have a knife with me. I could kind of split some of this stuff, you know, baton it with the knife. So, but I think we'll be good. All right, everybody, we've reached homeostasis. Sarah's got me some ramen going while I was tending to this thing. These new cameras are crazy, guys. It's about 20 after 5, and it's maybe 10 minutes of light left. And when I'm watching the phone here, it looks way brighter. But we did end up having to, you can see those split pieces over there. I had to baton those with the knife. Everything's pretty wet, so kind of got some stuff drying out. But yeah, got my base layers on, getting ready to get some warm food, and time to eat and relax. Do a little fireside chat here for a minute. So a couple different things. State of the channel in 2024. The YouTube channel is coming up on 2-year anniversary here next month. So I was thinking about getting back out to the place I recorded my first video, which is also in Ohio, in Wayne National Forest. So I was thinking about going back there for kind of like a 2-year anniversary tour type of deal. A couple other cool trips we have planned this year. Pictured Rocks up in Michigan. It's supposed to be one of the most beautiful trails, you know, anywhere in the country. I think it's about 40 miles, nothing crazy, but we're gonna head up there probably in the late spring. The big one though is sometime in July or August. I'm not sure who all is going, but some of the crew is going to be heading out to the Uinta Highline Trail out in Utah. That's a 100+ mile trail out in the Uinta Mountains out in Utah. So going to be definitely the trip of the year. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. I have a couple other things coming up. I have a lot of gear I've been using, but I don't really release reviews on something until I've tested it enough to give like an honest opinion. So I'll be doing a review here pretty soon on my Dyneema tarp from Hammock Gear. A couple more trips, maybe we'll do something on your CS40. You've only used it twice. I've used the other Z-Packs pack that I have enough to go over a review for that pack. So a lot of gear reviews are going to be coming up. A lot of trip videos coming up in 2024. So as always, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. If you're liking the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And, if you want to see more adventures, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Well, good morning, everybody. Wasn't supposed to be any snow in the forecast, but here we are. It's actually been snowing like this for, I don't know, probably 6, 7, 8 hours or something. It goes back and forth in between like rain, ice, snow. I found a pretty big downside to the Dyneema tarp. As you guys can tell, it gets that heavy like snow ice kind of mix on it or whatever, and it just completely buckles the tarp. I got soaked getting out of here this morning because all the condensation inside, and I rubbed up against the inside of the tarp. You can see there's literally no room in there whatsoever. Now that's, I guess, my fault. That's why these panel pullouts are here, right, to stop that from happening. But didn't know we were going to be getting this precipitation, so it looks like for the future in the winter, lesson learned, I'm just going to use those pullouts every single time. Although I could already tell you, with a whole bunch of snow, especially if it's got, if it's more of like a sleet mix or something, I don't know that tarp would hold up great to heavy snow. Might have to use a heavier tarp in the winter or something. But I mean, kept me dry last night. It's the problem is, unpacking everything and getting in and out. All right, everybody, we are Oscar Mike for day number 2 in our nice little winter wonderland. Yeah, definitely taught me some things. This is the first Dyneema tarp I've ever used, and I didn't realize, even the slightest amount of snow weight would make that thing buckle. So I mean, packing up this morning was a little bit of a chore. I got a little bit wet doing it. My gear got wet doing it. So on a multi-day trip, I don't think I'd have had to bail. Like, nothing got soaked, but it definitely would have been inconvenience. So I've been thinking about switching to a continuous ridgeline on that tarp and, creating myself an easier setup to just use the panel pullouts every single time I set up the tarp. And I think I'm going to move to that now after this trip. Like I said, it was kind of a little bit of an eye-opener. But anyways, guys, we're going to do some hiking here through this beautiful forest here covered in snow. And, thanks for joining along with us. Alright guys, and I just want to give you a little example of some of the storm damage down here. If you hadn't been here before, you might not notice too much, but there never used to be a clearing here. And now there is, so. And it continues on up over that way. This will be like my 4th, maybe 5th video that I've done at Mohican, and I've probably done, I think this is my 8th trip total. I used to come here a lot, even before I started the channel. I like coming here because Ohio's backpacking options are very limited. I live kind of like in the greater Cleveland area, and there's literally nothing in the entire like northern 2/3 of the state as far as backpacking goes. But now that Mohican is open back up, it's about an hour and a half drive from where Sarah lives. So you guys will probably be seeing, some more Mohican videos in the future. I think there's something like 40 miles of trails out here, so there's different routes that can be done, stuff like that. Like I said, we're only putting in about 11 on this trip, but it's good to be back out here. I'm glad they got it cleaned up. I'm glad they have it open back up, and really like this place. It's probably the prettiest backpacking in Ohio, even though it's not, very remote. You will see a lot of people out here. You will have to fight over campsites in the busy season, but it's definitely the prettiest hiking, in my opinion, in Ohio as far as backpacking goes. All right, everybody, less than a mile from the car, so unfortunately, you know what that means. About time to go ahead and sign off here. Go ahead and stick around for a second. I got a couple important things that I wanted to go over. So first of all, we're parked up at the dam, so I'm gonna get a couple nice shots from up on top of the dam for you guys as we're heading out of here. So that's the first thing. Second thing, guys, I started the channel for a couple different reasons. One was to kind of document my adventures for myself. The second one is to help more people enjoy backpacking. So in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and drop a couple of resources down in the description box below, guys, to help you get out here and do a trip at Mohican. There's a website called lighterpack.com. Every single trip that I do, I log my entire gear list on that website. Okay, that's gonna show you guys, every single item that I brought with me, how much it costs, how much it weighs, stuff like that. So you guys can go ahead and, look up that gear if you're interested in using it yourself. A big thing that I see happen to beginner backpackers is that, they load up a 30, 40, 50, 60 pound pack. They go out, they try to do too many miles, their pack's too heavy, they're miserable, they hate it, they never go backpacking again. Guys, my full pack, water, food, everything I brought with me was exactly 18 pounds for this trip today. And it's 30 degrees outside. So go ahead, if you're struggling with what gear choices to make, go ahead and click that link in the description box and check out my lighter pack. So I'm sure a lot of you guys use GPS apps to track your hikes. I'm going to go ahead and put a link to the GPX file for this trip down in the description box. So that's going to have things like the waypoints for the campsites, the trailheads, water crossings, the route that we took. If you guys want to do a short little 11-mile overnighter, you can just go ahead and click on that GPX file, download it, and load it up into whatever app you use, and you guys will have your planning done. And then last thing, I just wanted to thank everybody once again for tuning in and watching. Without you guys, there is no channel. So if you guys liked the video, go ahead and slap a thumbs up on it. If you want to see more backpacking adventures, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next video.